It's a big one this month. Everyone, it's Emily. Today's video is going to be a book haul video because I've accumulated some books in the last couple of weeks, last month, and I wanted to share them with you so you can tell me which ones I should read ASAP. And I'm excited. This is probably my most random book haul ever. There's a mix of literally everything and I'm excited. So let me share them with you. The first one is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which, yes, I already own this in a prettier edition. I've already read this. I watched the movie, the TV show. Actually, for anyone that is a big fan, I did a video where I mentioned my favorite version of each character, comparing different adaptations. So if you're a big fan, come and debate with us on that video. But yes, I wanted to get a ugly, old-looking edition because I want to put pages on the wall. I'm redoing my library. This is why the background, for anyone that doesn't know, looks like this. It is temporary. I will soon be ready to decorate, and I wanted to find an old looking edition. I couldn't find one because library sales, they throw away all the books that look too bad, which this is a different topic. And secondhand, I couldn't find any that looked pretty enough, like quality, or they were the pages were yellow enough. That's basically where I was going with this. And I found this edition, which the pages are pretty big, bigger than the average book. And even though the pages are not yellow, I will fix that. I did Google it. I think with tea and coffee, you can fix that. So I will be experimenting in a future vlog. Hopefully don't burn down anything. But the first page of this one, there's a cute little design too. I will be choosing pages that have some of my favorite quotes. So page 1 needed to be on there. So I will be doing some little DIY with this. Hopefully things go well, but yes, that's why I needed a second edition. I was not going to ruin my pretty one, so this one, got it for cheap. I don't mind doing some DIY with it. The second one I bought new because I keep seeing it and I've been in the mood to read some wholesome books, which it's very different from what I usually read, and it has romance, which I think Emily Henry has just changed the game for me. Now I'm open to trying some of them as long as it's not too much. And this one has witches, so of course. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which sounds really appealing. You're following this woman, she's a witch, and she's very isolated. She lost her parents, and she never had a proper family or felt like she did. So there's a team of found family, there's a romance, and there's witches. So I've been wanting to read more of all of these things. I feel like very often the witches in more contemporary settings, the ones that aren't in fantasy books basically, I never really like them. And I'm trying to find some favorites because I like the movie Practical Magic. I read the book, it reads a bit dated, but you still get a little bit of the feels, but the movie is great. And I feel like maybe something like that will give me the feels. We'll see. But yes, I've heard great things. It has great reviews. It's a fairly new release too, so I'll keep you updated, but I'm hoping to read this hopefully this month. The next two books are actually from Book of the Month, who is sponsoring this video. Thank you so much. I am very excited to announce that they are now officially shipping to Canada, which very excited. As you might already know, Book of the Month is an online service for readers. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors and help readers discover books that they'll love. Their team vets hundreds of books each month and give their subscribers a choice of new and early release books. So you get to pick whichever you are the most interested in. They also have a skip policy, which means that if for whatever reason you don't want a book that month, you can just skip it and you won't get charged. I got to choose the two that interested me the most. I'll put on the screen the other options that are available for the month of October. But personally, I chose this one, which is Sign Here. You're following a man who works in hell, literally. And he's about to get a big promotion, but in order to do that, he needs the soul of one more member of this rich family. So you're following that story. That sounds intriguing. And then the second one is The Family Game, which the main character is about to marry into this rich family. And then she realizes that it's a psychological thriller, that she has to participate into this weird game. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I actually like the cover of this one. And yeah, I'll let you know how it goes because I'm currently very much in the mood to read mystery thrillers. That's what I'm doing all month. So these will be added to my TBR. And like I mentioned, they now ship to the US and Canada. So you can get your first hardcover for $9.99 with the code TREAT. I will put all the information in the description box and add 2 more books to my TBR. I have also been trying to buy books whenever I have read them from the library or something else and I love them and I want to own a physical copy of it. And I got a pretty edition of Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I've read the duology, absolutely love it. But my first book, I don't even know where it is. I have some of her books here. I don't know, but I have an ugly edition. There, I said it. So since she's now one of my favorite authors, if I find secondhand a pretty edition, I will be buying it. And this one matches my edition of the second book, Parable of the Talents. So if you're looking for a post-apocalyptic book that will just destroy you, I recommend this. There's no like fantasy elements in there. It's just straight up crumbling of society. And there's like religious cults, as always, it feels like. And I just feel like this one is really, really raw and just, I love it. I love it. I just need to remove that sticker. How did that even get here? Like, we don't even have Target in Canada, but I have it. And look at that spine. Oh, I love a good spine. So I got that. This one, I was so excited. So I went to this used bookstore that is a little bit fancier. So they weren't $1 each like library sells, but it was worth it because I found some really good ones. The first one is this one. This is Quackery, right? A brief history of the worst ways to cure everything. I mean, I've been trying to read more nonfiction and this sounds right up my alley. So it's basically how throughout history, doctors have been killing their own patients with their really, really bad remedies. And oh my gosh, that is bright. How did I not notice this? This is like what? It's not even lime green, it's like chartreuse. Oh yeah, that looks like a disease. So yes, in the table of contents it says mercury, arsenic, radium, you get it. So that just sounds really good. I had the, is it the ebook, audiobook waiting on my waiting list at the library. And when I saw it in person and I saw that it had so many pictures in there, I was like, you know what, I need to own this. I feel like I'm gonna love this either way. And I'm trying to get my bookshelves to represent my taste more, hence me buying the books that I love that I don't have. Well, this one I did have, but in general, I'll try to do one a month, buying one that I gave 5 stars to that I got from the library because I want my shelves to represent my taste. And I feel like nonfiction, I rarely buy them because I just never find the ones I'm excited about at used bookstores. And because I buy most of my books used, it's a struggle, but this one's, even though I haven't read it yet, I'm not making this sound great. But yes, I got this. I'm excited. I'll let you know. But I've been trying to read more fun nonfiction. It reminds me a bit of A Taste for Poison that I read earlier this year. I feel like it's like same alley. So we'll let you know. Speaking of books I gave 5 stars to that I need to buy a physical copy eventually, Razorblade Tears is on that list. I was trying to find anything else by the author and I about screamed when I saw this one. Blacktop Wasteland. It's a bit dirty and sticky, not gonna lie. I hate, why did he put stickers that will leave a residue? It's a different topic. I was super excited to try anything else by him because I really enjoyed Razorblade Tears. It took me by surprise. It's definitely not my usual book. It's very much like beating up people, pew pew, revenge story. And I think this one is going to be similar because it's once again a now honest man that went to prison in the past, that has a rough past, but is forced to go back into the life. So again, similarly to Razorblade Tears, it's 2 fathers basically trying to figure out who murdered their son. Both of them actually went to prison in the past. So like similar, but I feel like it was so good that I will try anything by the author. I've heard that this, is it the one that people were recommending that I pick up after Razorblade Tears? I think so. And everyone is telling me that this is even better. So, I mean, yes, of course, I'll be reading this hopefully soon. It's not too big too. So excited. The other one, okay, I haven't been reading a lot of sci-fi or even fantasy this year. Usually both of these genres together make for about like 50% of the books that I read. I don't think it's going to be the case this year. And by that, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the case. Maybe a third. But I'm starting to pick up a couple ones that I'm hoping to read next year. I'm hoping to go back to my roots. And this one, I kept seeing it. And that cover is gorgeous. This is The Memory Police, which obviously that title also caught my eye. And if I remember correctly, this is more like literally fiction and like dystopian than like pure sci-fi. But you're following people on an island basically are under constant surveillance, memory police, and things are disappearing and then the police is arresting people that notice. I think that's what it is about. I've heard really fantastic things. I've been trying to read more translated work too, so I will be picking that one up hopefully again soon. Look at that cover. I usually really don't like people on my cover, but this one is cool. So yes. I picked up, I mentioned a couple nonfiction, so let's go through a couple of them. I I don't know about you, but sometimes I make little stories in my head. When I see like groups of books together, I wonder if did someone put them together because similar tastes, or is it someone that just got rid of all the same kind of books at the same time? Because these two books. The first one is Attached, which is New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. Okay, so I am single, but frankly, I have absolutely zero interest in dating, so I'm not getting this for that reason. However, I keep seeing it everywhere. Everyone is always talking about anxious avoidance, secure attachments, and I think it works also with like just people in general, like work coworkers, it could be friends, could be family members. I think it still affects the way you act. I feel like looking back, it's probably something that I would have wanted to read years ago because I would consider myself secure, but I feel like it's different when you get in a relationship or just with certain people. I think one of the best things about getting older is the fact that you can look back and realize things, because in the past I realized that every time I felt crazy or just I was anxious or avoidant, every time it was in reaction to something. My gut could feel something was wrong. The person was hiding things, lying to me, whatever, gaslighting me, manipulating me, every single time. Every single time. So that's why I feel very secure now. I just trust myself. Obviously, again, it's different when you are in the moment, but maybe I will still benefit from this. Plus, I want to read a book before I recommend it. And because I see everyone read this, I want to know if I agree with it or not. So that's the first one. And the second one, which is why I was saying, like, were they put together or did someone get rid of all of them at the same time? Women Who Love Too Much. This one is about when you keep wishing and hoping you'll change, which, okay, this sounds very straight-centric for romantic relationships, but I think this could also be beneficial for just anyone dealing with men in general. A little similarly to Why Does He Do That, which I do have a physical copy of that somewhere, which is about abusive men. If you have a chance, definitely check out the author. He does a lot of interviews and he's great. But yes, this sounds a little bit similarly, like how to not be the nicest person all the time and like not overdo it with people, which once again, I don't feel like I'm like that anymore, but it's something that I think I would have benefited a couple of years ago, just wanting people to like me. That used to be something, and I feel like, again, got older, don't really care anymore. Which is good, but I still think I will probably benefit from something in there. I'm hoping to. I feel like this is as close to like self-help as I will get. I feel like often they tend to be too like woo-woo for me, but I think this seems to have some kind of like basis on like science basis, and I don't know. Again, I see it everywhere. I want to read it. That way I can decide if I want to recommend it or not, so I can let you know, no, don't read it, try something else, or yes, do read it. So I'll keep you updated. I want to continue reading more nonfiction. This year I'm at about like what, 27, 29, something like that, and I want to keep going next year. So I have some new books to pick up for that. Quickly, I have another classic. It caught my eye, not gonna lie, because it was purple. I didn't buy it because it was purple, but it caught my eye because, you know, the spine. This is The Mayor of Casterbridge, which I've heard nothing about, but I read the back and it sounded appealing, or horrifying, really. A poor workman, in a fit of drunken rage, sells his wife and baby daughter to a stranger at a country fair. What? So obviously I wanted to try it. If it's awful, don't tell me. I don't want to know. But yes, I've been trying to also read more classics, so I picked that one up. Then, okay, recently I did a video where I was reviewing lists on Goodreads. They did like 3 of them, I think, like the 72 most popular fantasy, sci-fi, mystery thriller in the last 3 years. So I did 3 videos going through the list, letting you know the 20 plus that I had read for each genre, letting you know which ones were worth it, which ones weren't. And honestly, it hasn't been very positive. I feel like a lot of them I didn't enjoy it personally. And one of the ones that was on that list that I had not read, but that made me want to read it, is the Apollo Murders. It was also recommended to me because I read 6 Weeks and I really like the premise of like who did it in like a room, like enclosed room, like it has to be someone in there. In that case, you're following a group of people on a spaceship and then they wake up in a new body. They've all been killed. So it means it's someone on the ship. And I believe something similar happens in this one. That's why people were recommending it to me. It was written by an astronaut. So I'm not expecting super crazy skills in terms of the writing, but I'm intrigued. I feel like horror and sci-fi go so well together, so I'll let you know. Also, it's a chunky one. It's a chunky one. So next year when I go back to sci-fi, I'll pick that one up. Okay, the next one, I got a book in French. I don't read a ton of French books. I do whenever they're classics that were written in French, or some modern ones, but I feel like I never see them around because I don't look for them, quite frankly. If you have any favorites French books that were published in French, let me know in the comment section. Maybe I'll do a challenge next year where I'll just try a couple popular ones in French and just practice my French before I start losing it. But I picked this one up. This is Les Fourmis, and I don't remember, I think it's The Empire of Ants or something in English. I'll put it on the screen. But I feel like I used to see people reading this, but I never picked it up because I wasn't interested or intrigued at all. And then I saw it at the store and I was reminded, oh, I used to see it everywhere. I looked it up and I'm like, why did I not pick this up? This sounds so fun. It's like a sci-fi thriller, maybe. You have a family who just moved into a new apartment in France, and then all they're told is that do not go in the cellar, no matter what. And the dog disappears after going there, and then, you know, the whole family starts disappearing. I think it's like a colony of ants. But I'm not sure what happens. And I didn't want to know more than that. I was like, you know what? That sounds cool. I'll be reading this. And it's like a floppy. Listen, I am a big fan of floppy books. So pick that one up and we'll be reading. Do I put this in my sci-fi or thriller shelf? Let me know if you've read it, because if it is my thriller, I might read it in October if it ends up being picked up, because I'm doing a read it or unhaul it, and I'll add it to the jar. Our PrisonObsolete by Angela Davis. I've been trying to add more of her books to my physical TBR because I want to read them. I feel like I keep seeing another one that I'm interested in. So I picked this one up when I saw it. And this one focuses on, obviously, prison, but it starts with, like, should we focus on prison reform or prison abolition? And then, you know, the author talks about it, slavery, civil rights. And she ends with alternatives, which I'm really, really intrigued to read what she thinks, because I agree that prisons are, like, especially for profit in the US, for example, for like petty crimes, it just sounds ridiculous. Like, someone should not be in prison for years if they were caught in possession of like a small amount of drugs or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. However, I am wondering what is the alternative for like violent crimes or like essay or like repetitive essay. Like, what do you do with these people? I don't think therapy is enough. Like, it's not going to work on these people. So I'm curious to see what are the alternatives also. But yes, just generally wanting to learn more about the topic. So I picked that one up and it's kind of cute. The only thing is that cute books do not go well on shelves, right? They tend to just be awkward sizes, but I feel like a lot of nonfiction are awkward sizes, so it's fine. Speaking of which, I was very, very excited when I saw this one because I just added the audiobook to my waiting list at the library. And I know I'm gonna love this. This is the Intersectional Environmentalist. So the book is about how race or class affect the way like climate change will affect you, which super important and interesting topic in my opinion. The audiobook is only 4 hours and the book is pretty chunky, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But I wanted to own a physical copy of this because once again, I said I want my bookshelves to represent my taste more. And again, my nonfiction is all over the place. So even though I haven't read it yet, I know I will love it. So I grabbed it instantly. Ooh, is it fantasy or sci-fi? Maybe a mix of both. I feel like I haven't bought a fantasy book in forever. To be fair, I feel like I own a lot of the ones I'm interested in, so I haven't been like looking for more. And the ones that are new, like new releases, I try to get them from the library. So if you have any other ones that you think I would be loving, magic ones, fantasy, let me know and I might add more to my physical TBR, which I know maybe I'll do a challenge next year because I really want to do like a beginner's guide to fantasy, because I did that with sci-fi, like 2 or 3 videos like that. So I need to do it for fantasy, but I just feel like I need to read more beforehand. Anyway, The First Sister, which is one of the ones I've seen going around. I think it's sci-fi though. People were saying that it's kind of similar to Red Rising, which was okay for me. But this one is supposed to have more female characters and just be more queer in general. So I'm interested. I will try it. I'll let you know, but I have seen it going around. Then we have Migration, which again, ugly sticker, staff pick by Nandi. Better be good. I think this one is like kind of sci-fi, like dystopian version of our world, like futuristic version of our world where like climate change are progressing, and you're following just someone, I think she's on a boat going to like the Arctic. Is that possible? But apparently this one is just like the pretty writing. It's very character driven, so I'll let you know, but I could not resist that cover, to be completely honest. So The Soul of the Octopus, a surprising exploration into the wonder of consciousness, which sounds really fun. Ever since I read Children of Ruin, which is the second book after Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, I've been wanting to learn more about octopuses, because they seem so cool. Like, they're really smart, way more than we give them credit for. Apparently they have like different personalities, like it just sounds cool. So I wanted to grab this again in my quest to try more fun, interesting nonfiction. I've been doing well this year. I will be doing a video all about them probably at the end of November, because I have read, like I said, almost 30 at this point. So I'll show you my favorites and my non-favorites. So that's it. These are all the books that I've accumulated. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section which ones I should put higher on my TBR. Let me know the ones that you just picked up within the last month. I'm curious. Anything I should add to my TBR? Let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, including my wrap up for the end of the month of September and my TBR for the month of October, because so many fun challenges. Like I said, the Read It or Unhaul It is going to last the first 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. Hopefully it goes well. Probably will not, because mystery thrillers